Well, a massive welcome here to Johnny Freeston from Harpos FC. Hello, Johnny, and welcome to the Non-League Radio Show.
Hi, Stephen. It's a pleasure to be here.
Not a problem. Right, I want to get stuck right in. I want to find out about yourself and your background in football or soccer. Sorry, I'll say soccer. I get confused.
Well, you can say football. More and more folks say it here. It's changed a lot, actually, in a good way. So thanks again for having me. I'm originally from Bogota, Colombia, but I grew up in the American kind of hardworking dream town of Hershey, Pennsylvania. That was where I was raised and went to school. I did university north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at a school called Allegheny College. We call them small liberal arts schools. So, just a couple thousand kids, and played soccer there. And when I was younger, I played a national tournament in Colorado. One of those with your family where you think, you'll go and visit and probably never go there again in your life. Well, instead of interning on Capitol Hill and turning that into a full-time job and being a lawyer or a lobbyist in politics, I thought better of it, and I moved cold turkey to Colorado in 2000, and I've been here ever since.
Great stuff. I'm reading about you on the website, harposfc.com, and it's saying you've won over 100 titles throughout your playing career.
Yeah, it's not even my passion. I think the next level of it is obsession, as many supporters in England are, you embody that. So it's my obsession too. It is my absolute obsession. And so I started kicking the ball at 3. I started playing at 4, and I played all my levels as a kid. So we had, youth ball and what we call rec or recreation, and then travel, and then, competitive. And so I played for my local club in Hershey, and I played for our select team in our region, and then, in high school. And throughout that, I was very lucky to be a part of many winning programs. So a lot of good coaching and mentors, including from coaches and leaders who were actually from the UK. So I had a lot of English and Irish coaches and influences as a child, as well as German and Brazilian. I was very lucky. And, that kind of got ingrained in me. So, it's a lot more fun, frankly, if you're winning than losing. But if you lose, that's when you learn. So for Harpos, we say win or learn. And I got to experience a lot in those days. And so the titles, accumulated outdoors as well as indoors. And then, tried to, build something new here at Harpos and have that type of ethos too.
Good stuff. I'm also reading here, says Laura, as the visionary leader and creator of the greatest thought experiment ever. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, sure. Those aren't my words. Those are from social football firm here in Colorado called the 18. So they used to be called the 18.com, but they're called the 18. So they've taken it upon themselves to basically socialize football as much as possible in Colorado, but across the country, and write blogs and do all those kinds of fun things. So, they interviewed us back then and kind of said, wow, this is a pretty unique and an amazing journey that, we've been on. And so related to that, the story is kind of what I mentioned, playing as a kid, loving it as a kid, getting to certain levels. I was by no means a great player. I mean, in a lot of ways, I don't even think I was a good player. I was good at times. But I was around very good and great players and good and great coaches. And so that always kind of inspired me. I always had to do more. So I was not a Division I college athlete here. I didn't think I was Division II, but I knew I could play Division III. And I even had people tell me that I couldn't do that. So I wanted to prove them wrong. I was always an underdog. And so I worked harder. I worked harder off the pitch, on the pitch, especially in the gym. I had to do a lot of different things that my friends, my best friends, didn't have to do. They were natural athletes. They were Division I. Some were pros in the making. One even went and played in the NFL as a kicker. So that's what I was competing against as a kid. And so that was the joy of the game, the love of the game. But when I got to university, to college, I found a program that on paper was okay, but it wasn't one of the best in the country or the region or even our conference. I found an apathy that I'd never found before in football, and it really turned me off. And I didn't play my full college career, so I ended up leaving that team and that program because I didn't want to sacrifice for that. I want to enjoy the social aspects, if you will, of American college way more, going out, dating, all those things, and traveling. And so then I picked up intramurals because I still wanted to play. And intramurals here is, anyone could sign up and register a team, and you go and play. And it's not competitive in a lot of ways. And, you have other guys that had similar stories to mine, but it was something I just kind of wanted to do. I didn't want to just leave the game altogether. And that is the illusion in the article of, the first time I really started to organize folks on my own without any influence, without any assistance, and to say, okay, like here's the team, here's the branding, here's the name, here's the kits we're going to wear. These are the guys we have. So, the players always dictate to a certain extent the system. And then we started to win. And, it was still Sunday league level, beers and whatnot. We were in college. So I won a couple of our college emblazoned mugs and enjoyed, going to the pub afterwards with our group. And we were called Goodfellas after the movie, which is still a favorite. And so Goodfellas was really the first time we had to go in that type of experiment. And then it morphed over many, many years into what's now Harpos.
Yes, so I was going to say, coming on to Harpos, I want to find out a little bit more about the club, where you play and the crowd and the fans and the players. So is that when you ended up arriving at Harpos, is that how that developed to that point?
Yeah, so after university, came to Colorado, kept playing, and I kind of tried before I bad, like I played on a couple of different teams here in the CU-Boulder League, and I liked all the guys, and it was all good, but I never felt like I found my tribe, my crew, my squad, the guys that I really clicked with. So I joined this team called the Barrel House, and they're notorious. They were notorious for just partying hard, argy-bargy, almost looking for a fight. Not a hooligan level, but definitely a menace when they wanted to be. And they're in the second division. And I'm like, man, I don't really want to do that. And I was like, screw it, I'm going. Because two good friends went. And I thought, this is going to hopefully reinvigorate my love for the game, and I'll meet a good crew and we'll have a go. And so sure enough, we did. And a mix of guys, and some played in college, some didn't. Good guys, good athletes, wanted to have a good time, and so we got promoted, and then we stayed in the first division, and then I joined in 2005. I kind of took over from that old crew in 2008. They asked me if I wanted to take the reins, so to speak, and I said yes. And then by 2010, I started to really build a new team and bring in, younger blood, guys that were under 25, guys that played in college or pro, were hungry to win, wanted to build and be a part of this new club and program. And then in 2012, we left the Boulder League after kind of taking over there and winning back to back to back, et cetera. And then 2015 is when Harpos really got established on, I'd say, the national and the international scene. Even an article with The Guardian, I'll never forget that. Because we played in the US Open Cup. So that's the equivalent of the English FA Cup.
Excellent. So where do you play your games at? Is it the University of Denver Cyber Field? Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're fortunate and also unfortunate, I guess, Stephen, in that we don't have a designated home ground. We don't have. I'm United, so unfortunately, it's not a bright day. But we don't have an Old Trafford, so to speak. We just don't, and we don't have a Carrington for that matter either. So we play at University of Denver Cyber Field, their soccer stadium. We play scrimmages as well against all the local college sides, and this is part of Harpos too. A lot of our guys, our bros, our coaches or players at all these different levels of football in Colorado, whether it's youth, other amateur sides, the universities and colleges, and even at the pro level. So we primarily now play at a place called Victoria Sports Park in Golden, Colorado. That is literally right down the street from Coors Beer. So, future sponsor maybe. But not good beer to a certain extent because we love craft beer, but they have a ton of it and they're chill and they have great branding. We play in Golden, we play in Broomfield, we play in Denver, and then every once in a while we'll actually play in our spiritual home of Boulder.
Good stuff. And are all the players amateurs or any like paid, or are they all like non-paid players, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's all for the love of the game. So everyone is technically now registered as an amateur player, locally and then nationally with US Soccer. We don't pay our players anything fiscally, monetarily. So there's no exchange of cash or Venmo, what we have here, any of that kind of stuff. Although a lot of sides do that here at the amateur level, and they're entitled to do that. We've just never wanted to go that route, and we won't go that route. Our thing is having a family, a football family, as we say. It's one of our hashtags, and having this ethos of brothers character excellence, where everyone's going to come together and train on a Wednesday night. Hopefully the weather permits, and then we're going to play on Sunday. And then we stay afterwards both nights, socially, and have our sessions in the lot, not even a proper pub because Harpos closed in 2017, the namesake bar and grill. And, we've gone from there. But what makes this special is that everyone who comes to Harpos buys into it and puts what we say is side before self. So, perfect example is we have a 19-year-old college player who transferred from Metro State here to California State Bakersfield, and he's leaving that program, and he's in between. So he's got to come and find a home, and he found a home with us. And now he's our starting number 9 striker, and he's 19. The opposite end of the spectrum, which is arguably way more special in a unique way, is a player named Juan Pablo Cafa. Cafa is at his peak, played in La Liga for Real Betis and Real Zaragoza, and played for Arsenal de Sarandi in Argentina. He was Boca Juniors youth program. And this is a guy who's also played in Ecuador and in Greece and here in the USL pro. And so you got a guy who's friends with, Emilio Martinez, who's the starting keeper for Aston Villa, is one of his clients through his FIFA licensed player agency in Argentina. And he's got all this acumen and skill and reputation, yet he's meshing with Jaime Gutierrez, who I just mentioned, and they're all coming together to play for free for the love of the game for Harpos and with Harpos.
That's excellent. And I was just looking at the different teams. I'm guessing from the website if you still have the same teams going, the first team and over 30s and under 23s.
Yes, that's correct. So started to build a pathway over time. And a lot of that is because of the foundation of the club and of the original players. So we call them OGs, And so they still want to play. They're still amazing. A lot of them could still play for the first team for FC. But, they have families and they're way more invested in their careers, and they have other types of personal and professional commitments. So, we have the first team FC, arguably the second team, if you will, OG. They do not play in an over 30 league, although most of the guys are over 30. So they play in the second division, and they've won it the last couple of years and haven't taken the promotion, because they still just want to play and drink beer and hang out. And then we have I guess you could say college kids. For the most part, it's college kids. They'll come home to Colorado, or they happen to be in Colorado for an internship during the summer, which is like a June through August, and they need somewhere to play and train. So we have an outright under 23 side, but the best players there we incorporate into the first team, and then they'll play summer tournaments with us. So it's now, it's proper, it's robust when everyone's in town.
One of the things that I'm trying to get to grips with on the show, I'm trying to cover different countries because we have like a pyramid system in this country. And you guys play in the United States Adult Soccer Association. And I'm just trying to find out a bit more on do you have a pyramid system, or can you only get to so far and then you would have to progress to a different league to join the pyramid system to move up the ladder?
Oh man, you just opened the Pandora's box. It's a massive one. It is massive. I'm typing in the chat as we speak so you can see the pro scenario. But yeah, I mean, for us, we're effectively, if you had to think of it as a pyramid, we'll go from the top down pro, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So our top level here is FIFA sanctioned Division One is Major League Soccer, so MLS, which I know is more popular overseas nowadays, and it has been in the past. So we have the Colorado Rapids, and they play in suburban Denver. We had their owner Stan Kroenke owns Arsenal, for example.
Yeah.
So then there's what we call the United Soccer League, the USL, and their second tier pro. That's called the USL Championship. So akin to yours, not at the level, but in name.
Yeah.
And they are based in what's called Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is a city about an hour south of Denver. It's a smaller market. We're not talking millions of people, a couple 100,000 in their metro area. They're who we've worked through the U.S. Open Cup to play over the years. So this will make more sense in a second, but they're the second division and they're pro. What's happened the last few years since our initial runs in cups is there's now 2 Division III professional leagues. There's what's called USL League One, and then there's also called NISA, the National Independent Soccer Association. So 2 Division III professional leagues. Below that level, everything else is considered quote unquote amateur, meaning you're not paid to play. You don't have a professional player's license. You're not recognized by US Soccer or FIFA as a professional player. That's where the acronyms get out of control, and I'm not going to bore you with them because there's too many. But there's like 3 national leagues. There's USL League 2, then there's the NPSL, and then there's also what's called the UPSL, and the top tier players there are decent. We're below that. So then you get into what we would call, I guess, non-league, even Sunday league. So on paper, Harpos could be considered playing in Division 5 or Division 6 in the U.S. soccer pyramid, and we are amateur.
And can you progress all the way to? I know you probably won't without paying people, but can you progress from bottom to top in your pyramid? Or I'm guessing with the states being as large as it is, I don't know how teams from different areas would progress, and what the pyramid system is for going up.
Yeah, it's a very interesting scenario. So the answer holistically is no. So we have in the U.S. more of a pay-to-play model. It's the complete antithesis of the promotion relegation model that you have there in the U.K.
Yeah.
So the pros stay pros, and within that Division 1 to Division 3, those teams can't move up. They can't move up or move down. In the amateur realm, for a division probably 5, 6, let's call it 7, 8, even to 9, if that such a thing exists, because it doesn't on paper, you can have promotion and relegation within your kind of local or city or state leagues. Right. So the league that we play in, the Colorado Premier League, there's 2 divisions, an over 30 league, and then multiple other divisions, women's leagues too. And there can be some fluctuation between those. But it's not anywhere of the kind of welcome to Wrexham potential story where they could go from, National League 5th division on up to the Premier League in 15 years worth of investment and winning titles. That's just not existent here.
That's very interesting. I'm guessing we could talk all day on that subject of promotion and relegation. The other thing I wanted to touch on, I can see you've got quite a few non-playing staff, or there may be playing staff, I'm not sure. On your website here, obviously there's the coaches, keeper coach, managers. Are some of those guys players as well, or they're just literally just the coach?
No, yes, it's kind of a mix. So Michael Ogletree, for example, he's head of air pollution, air quality here for the state of Colorado. But in his former life, if you will, he was a professional indoor player here, and he played MLS for the old Chivas USA out in Los Angeles. I think it was 2008 or something. So, he had reached a very good level, but then moved to Colorado, played pro indoor at the time, then found Harpos, and then we've been together for a number of runs, et cetera. So he'll still play for our OG team, and then he'll also obviously help coach the side too. I think he's a really unique example. But all of us that are listed there have played, since we were kids, and then we'll still suit up, as permits. I think, especially on special occasions, a unique game, etc. But at the moment, and the way we kind of framed it, I'd say over all the years was I was really the only ever player manager, and that's a tough role, for anyone. And I think, unless there's the absolute right fit now moving forward, we won't really do it. OG, we kind of do. Listed there online, Ryan McAleer. We call him Big Mac because he's like 6'5" and has his grizzly bear beard. Big Mac is a player manager, but it's not the same type of, I guess you could say, commitment that we've had, for the first team, where it's all the administration, all the operations, the marketing, the finance, the recruiting of players, and everything behind the scenes. So, but it's amazing. We're really lucky to have everyone that we have. Lots of volunteers that help, especially for special matches and Open Cup on game days. And, the fans too. I'd say in Colorado, we have a couple hundred to, probably up to 2,000 fans in terms of followers and everything, social media. And that's been amazing. But, the next step in our journey is to actually turn professional. So we will always have Harpos as is in one way, shape, or form. But a different entrepreneurial project, which we've been working on for a number of years and now is really starting to come to fruition, will see us have a club in the USL League One Professional Division III level.
I was just going to mention fans. You brought that up there. So how many fans do you get on a match day on average? About
if we round them up, 50 to 100 just for a regular league game. For the U.S. Open Cup matches, it can vary. You can have a couple hundred. I think earlier when we played before, say, like a Rapids game, we build it in so that we're friends with some of their fans and others, and so then you'd have a big huge crowd. But it's a very different scenario than what I've experienced when I've been in England and other countries, where it could be D6 on a sloppy Sunday and there's 2,000 people there. It doesn't usually happen. Now, the irony of that is that you could be at a remote town in the middle of nowhere in Ohio, and there could be like 5,000 people at a college soccer game, men's or women's. So it really is about building up the fan base, and then having good product on and off the field. So we're in a unique spot, as mentioned before, but I think what's ahead of us is going to be unlike anything anyone's ever done in this country. And so that's part of the added motivation beyond the obsession, the personal obsession, is having this next step in our evolution, this next chapter happen, and have it happen with all the people who helped actually build the club. It's going to be, as we say here, epic.
Yeah, it sounds like a massive task, but one I look forward to keeping an eye on through social media. Well, it's been absolutely excellent talking to you, Johnny. And I could chat all day about football. Maybe it's not Manchester United, but we'll move on from that after the result I've had the day. But if I want to check you guys out on social media at Harpos FC on Twitter, and the website's harposfc.com. So many thanks for joining us, Johnny.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having us, and I wish you and your magpies well.
Yeah.
It looks like you're on your way up.
I think so. Yeah, we'll go in the right direction.
Thanks so much, Stephen.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye.